Hello everybody, my name is Andreas Bovensiepen. I'm the head of Alpina. Here we are at the Bilsterberg racetrack in Germany, and I'm proud to present you today two new BMW Alpina models. First of all, we like to start with the XB7. The XB7 is a large and spacious, luxurious SUV, but with a very, very good driving dynamics, not seen in this class before. But let's have a closer look under the hood of the new XB7. The XB7 has a V8 engine, 4.4 liter, and it develops 621 horsepower and a maximum torque of 800 Newton meters. And it has a large cooling system. A large cooling system is always very important if you have such a powerful engine. If you look at the exterior design of the XB7, first of all you see the Alpina front spoiler with Alpina lettering and the huge air inlets for the cooling system. The BMW Alpina XB7 is equipped as standard with 21-inch wheels. But this model has the option. The option is a 23-inch wheel in anthracite color. These are the biggest wheels Alpina has ever done for any BMW Alpina car. Beneath the wheel we see a big brake. It's a Brembo brake, a blue Alpina caliper with Alpina lettering. So such a big and heavy car needs good brakes to stop quickly. But let's look around the XB7. Let's walk to the rear to show you the very nice rear of the car, the exhaust system. Alpina typically exhaust has 4 exhaust pipes and an elliptical design. And this design is nicely integrated in the rear apron. And this looks really, really cool. And with this car, with the XB7, we have a very deep and bassy V8 sound. And now let's have a look into the interior of the XB7. Yeah, when we enter the cabin, very important, every Alpina car has Alpina blue instrument cluster with red needles and a very soft Lavalina leather hand-sewn steering wheel with parallel stitching. Furthermore, the interior of the cabin is very luxurious. This one has a nice Lavalina leather dashboard or lower part of the dashboard in platinum leather. And what is really outstanding is a crystal glass gear lever and iDrive controller. And the iDrive controller has a lasered Alpina emblem integrated. And of course, every Alpina, BMW Alpina carries this production number and production plate here seen in the middle. But now let's have a quick look at the rear of the XB7, because this is the first BMW Alpina which has 3 seating rows and can sit between 6 and 7 people, depending whether you have a bench in the second row or 2 several seats. But let's have a quick look. This XB7 is very, very luxurious. In our in-house saddlery in Buchloe in Bavaria, we have done the interior completely new with the finest Lavalina leather. Lavalina leather is an untreated leather which is very natural and is the highest quality in automotive. So you can see here the door panel. This door panel is done in platinum leather, nice XB7 wording here, and contrast in blue. And if you have a closer look, the seat backs, everything is done in the nice, finest leather. And the best thing, have a closer look in here, and maybe I try to give you the third seating row free. Give me a second. Does it work? I don't want to work. You can have a look here. If you go closer, so we see the third seating row. Yes, this was a quick introduction in the BMW XB7, but we were able today in the morning to drive with the car, and this was really, really fun to do so. So let's have a look in a nice trailer. Yeah, let's start the engine. Our nice, powerful V8 sound still when idling. Let's put the gear lever in drive. And yeah, let's enter the Bilsterberg racetrack here in Germany. Quite unusual with such a huge SUV. So we are approaching the racetrack. It's nice when you can shift at the steering wheel. Let's put the gear lever in a left position in sport mode, and now we can use the steering. I can shift at the steering wheel. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, for the BMW Alpina XB7, Pirelli has done a great job. We have developed 23-inch wheel and tire combination. In front, the tires are 285 millimeters. In the rear they are really wide, 325 millimeters. And this gives the BMW Alpina XB7 a very precise steering feel when we go through the first bends here at Bilsterberg. A brake hard, turn into a very narrow left-hander. The Bilsterberg racetrack is called the Small Nürburgring. Now here it goes down the so-called Mausefalle. It's a very tight left-hander. Let's go down and accelerate up the hill. There's a blind right-hand corner. Turn in, accelerate. Nice sound of the 4.4 V8 bi-turbo engine. Still in the mid-rev range, the engine is pulling nicely. Let's put the pedal to the metal as nicely accelerating. Powerful V8. More than 120 miles here on the straight. Turn in into a fast left-hand corner. Directly at the apex. Surprisingly fast again. 120 miles per hour, braking in a straight line. The XB7 has a long wheelbase and the car is very, very stable. And now I have to say we are still in comfort mode. Alpina has always a big variety in suspension settings: Comfort Plus, Comfort, Sport and Sport Plus. And now I go on the switch where we can, or on the Sport Plus, we can lower the car by 1.6 inches for a lower center of gravity, which gives the car more stability when driving. And the handling is really precise. I'm speaking of a huge 7-seater SUV. Nice engine sound. That's cool. Now we have lowered the car. You feel it instantly that the road holding is much nicer. The XB7 has a 4 air spring suspension with Alpina calibration for the damping. So finally it doesn't drive like an SUV, it drives much more like our B7, like a big sedan. And here we have really tight and narrow corners. Going down again. Turning in sharply. Accelerating. Turning in again. Yeah, the BMW Alpina XB7 is equipped with BMW's active integral steering. That means still the rear wheels, you can steer the rear wheels, and I show you here. Still, if you go in a straight line, you go about 100 miles, you can make a quick lane change and the car is completely safe. And this is a very good feature, especially if you go fast or you have an emergency situation where you have to do a quick lane change, and the XB7 is completely stable, and that's very, very important if you go fast with such a kind of large SUV. The shifting times are very short, so you have a very high comfort level in drive, so shifting is smooth. If you go back, for example, in the drive mode, shifting is very smooth. But if you go in the sport mode or you shift at the steering wheel, shifting times is about 1/10 of a second, so it's very, very sporty. So finally, it was the target of Alpina to make a large SUV, but it should drive and feel much more like a big sedan. And so we have invested a lot of engineering to set up the suspension and the engine to give a very harmonious driving feel of the overall vehicle. Here's a small compression. We go through the compression. So it's really phenomenal. The driving capabilities, the suspension, everything. You would never expect that this could be done with such a huge and large SUV. So still for me it was surprising what our engineers have achieved with the BMW XB7. It's really fun to drive. Again, a left-hander, precise steering. That's cool. Let's try it out in DSC mode. And the Apex. Again, a quick lane change. Again, fast lane change. The car is so stable and safe, surprisingly. Great job done by our engineers. And now let's accelerate a little bit harder, go farther, go a little bit to the limit. Wow, this is accelerating 200 kilometers an hour. That's great. Perfect. This was a first impression on the racetrack of the new BMW Alpina XB7, which will hit the American market in fall 2020. Now we are back in the pit lane of Bilsterberg racetrack. Now the BMW Alpina B3 in its 7th generation. The new BMW Alpina B3 is the core of the Alpina cars. It reflects the core because it's a quite compact car, and it's very, very nice handling. It's a driver's car. And why it's a driver car, I will explain you furthermore. Again, let's have a look below the hood of the Alpina B3. The Alpina B3 has a 6-cylinder inline 3-liter engine, and we have a huge cooling package beneath here, and it delivers 462 horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque. And that means you can accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in only 3.8 seconds. And you reach a maximum speed of 303 kilometers per hour for the sedan version. And the Touring accelerates a tenth slower in 3.9 seconds from 0 to 100 and has a maximum speed of 300 kilometers per hour. And this is a very nice engine cover with Alpina logo. And now let's have a look at the front of the new BMW Alpina B3. The BMW Alpina B3 is quite wide and low and has a nice Alpina front spoiler with Alpina lettering and huge air inlets for the cooling system. If you look around, the standard version of the Alpina B3 is equipped with a 19-inch Alpina wheel in the dynamic design. But here on this car we have a 20-inch forged wheel in the Alpina Classic design, and with a forged wheel we can save 14 kilos per vehicle. This is less unsprung masses and improves the handling. For the first time ever, the Alpina B3 is equipped with a real large brake, 395 millimeters in diameter. And this is the same brake we use in the front axle of our fast B5. So this car has amazing stopping performance. This Alpina B3 carries the Alpina signature color, Alpina Green, which is only available on Alpina cars. The power of the engine goes via a ZF 8-speed transmission to the rear axle. The Alpina B3, the new B3, is only available with all-wheel drive. But we like a very, very nice handling. I hate understeer personally, and to get this nice handling, we have a limited slip differential as a standard equipment. So therefore the car handles really great. But let's go on, let's have a look to the rear of the new B3 Touring. Again we have the Alpina typical exhaust pipes, 4 exhaust pipes, an elliptical shape, nicely integrated in the rear apron, and a nice diffuser with 4 small fins. So this looks really, really cool. And now, again, we had the chance to drive on the Bilsterberg racetrack, and we will have a look now how the new B3 handles on the track. Let's have a look. Yeah, now I'm sitting in the BMW Alpina B3, the all-new BMW Alpina B3, and we are here in Germany at the Bilsterberg racetrack. And now we go out on the track. Let's go in sport mode. Shifting at the steering wheel is possible. We have new shift pedals for the Alpina B3. That is really sporty. And now when we accelerate out on the racetrack, we have this nice Alpina 6-cylinder engine sound of this 3-liter biturbo, 642 horsepower and a maximum of 700 Newton meters. We have developed especially new tires in 19 and 20-inch size format with Pirelli, and these tires are tailored for the BMW Alpina B3, which gives the B3 a very precise steering feel when entering corners. The Bilsterberg racetrack is called the Small Nürburgring. This part of the track is called Mausefalle, where you go down the hill, a very sharp left-hand corner, and up the hill there's a absolutely blind corner. You don't know whether it goes right or left. I know it because I've driven the racetrack before. And now we accelerate hard and brake hard before the next corner. Turn in, very precise steering feel at the apron, braking again, go right, go left, and now feel the torque when accelerating. Now we are still in comfort mode. Alpina has a very wide variety in suspension setting. Here we have a switch, so now I'm switching from comfort in Sport Plus, which is a ride mode for the racetrack. Here's a very fast left-hander turning in, very precise, adds the apron, applies throttle, accelerate. That's great. That's really great feeling. It's a Toki engine. And for the first time after B3, we have a very powerful brake system. We have overtaken the brake calipers, the Brembo brake calipers, from our B5, which had the maximum speed of 330 kilometers per hour. And this brake is really nice to have this one in the B3. Now we accelerate onto the long straight. You can hear the nice Alpina engine sound. And now we come into the braking zone, shifting down at the steering wheel and accelerate out of the corner. Up the hill, right and left, nice steering feel. And still the seating position in the new 3 Series, this is the 7th generation of BMW Alpina B3. It's very low, it's sportive, it's a very driver-orientated cockpit. So immediately you feel well after a few kilometers of driving at the racetrack here at Bilsterberg. Yeah, there's a nice engine sound again. We go down the hill here, so-called Mausefalle. Up the hill there's a blind right-hand corner. Let's go up. Yeah, so it's really fun to drive the new BMW Alpina B3. Still, if you do a lane change here, the car is very stable. It's really fun to drive. Turn in, very precise, fast left-hander. Now we have 120 kilometers and accelerating out of this corner. Now we reach nearly 200 kilometers per hour. Brake very late. Very precise and nice to drive. Great job done by our engineers when setting up the suspension and the engine. So again, accelerating very fast, turning in. Again, the braking zone, the car is very stable in a straight line when braking, thanks to the long wheelbase. And now, yes, we are finished. It was a lot of fun to drive the new BMW Alpina B3 here on the Bilsterberg racetrack in Germany. As you have seen, I was really impressed with the tremendous job our the engineers have done with the handling, to optimize the handling of the BMW Alpina B3. And Pirelli has done a great job developing tires, especially for the new B3. But finally, I like to show you the interior of the new B3. Yeah, you have a great sporty, very low seating position. The BMW typical driver-orientated cockpit. That's really cool. And again we have here the Alpina Blue instrument cluster. And the Alpina sports steering wheel, very small in diameter, is very nice for good handling. And here, as an option, we have the Alpina CNC milled solid aluminum shift pedals. You can see here. This is very nice, especially when you like to drive sporty or you drive on a race track. Furthermore, the car is quite luxurious inside too. We have a piano finish here, integrated Alpina emblem, a lot of nice details in this B3, which gives a very high quality feeling. Additionally, we have a high gloss iDrive controller area, and again the Alpina numbered production plug. This is car number 25. Yeah, this was quite interesting to show you the all-new BMW Alpina B3. I hope you liked my presentation, and yeah, look on Facebook or look on the Alpina website to get more information about Alpina. Thanks guys for joining this video.